BTCReaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. So let me know if everything's working alright. We're just starting with this new dual stream with Rumble, so we'll see if this is working. We're going to try another method tomorrow. It does look like my thing is lighting up, showing the mic should be working at least. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, it does look like we did get a little bit of a push up. We almost got our full push up, but we will start over on total. So got a little sidetracked. I was messing with some things. We got Moondag Moondag in our lineup. That is a new little uh pygmy hippo thing that has been pretty viral, so they made a meme coin on it. Someone suggested it, so we're going to be covering that tonight. But over on total, our altcoins, we do look a little indecisive here, so I would warn against a red candle. If we see a red candle tomorrow, we may retest that 936 over the coming days. Our stochastic does want to round away. Our RSI is starting to weaken. That VWAP is starting to round. Money flow is pulling back. Momentum is pushing forward. But if that VWAP continues to round, our money flow and momentum could continue to start to weaken a bit. Remember that momentum does lag behind the VWAP, which the money flow lags behind the momentum. So over on the 1 hour here, we do have some consolidation going on. This is positive. Remember, some consolidation after a push up does create a bull flag. So we have that area that we said to watch for, possibly carving out. So we do have about a pole right there. This would be our consolidation zone. Apply that forward, and that could give us a push up to that 109 trillion. We did say watch around that 107, 108 area. So that does kind of run in confluence with that. VWAP does want to roll away though, so watch that VWAP close. It is a little bit of a lower high, so if we get lower low, we would have a bearish trend that could be forming here. That momentum is starting to round as well, and money flow is pulling back. But I would watch. We did get our third touch to what would be the top here. This is a little crooked. Straighten that out. So we did almost get our third touch to the top. So I would exercise caution, because at this point, that does increase the probability of invalidating the bull flag possibility. Remember, if you reject that third touch, that doesn't mean it's shot, but usually that third touch is where you want to break out. We can still break out on a fourth or fifth touch. It just becomes less likely the more you reject that resistance area. And usually after 3, it becomes less likely. So that's been my experience with bull flag formations. So that's how I trade on them. Remember, you also trade confirmations either way. So you want to trade on the breakout. You don't want to just jump in because you see a bull flag, and bull flags have a probability of being bullish. You want more probability on your side, so that's why you wait for confirmation. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, it doesn't look like we really have much going on. I believe it's close, so we will hop over to Bitcoin. Yeah, it's the weekend, so it's close. So over on Bitcoin, it does look like we're pretty indecisive. We did get most of our move forward in the last couple days, so our stochastic does want to push up. RSI is pretty flat. VWAP is starting to stagnate. Momentum wants to run, and money flow is starting to weaken. I would exercise caution because that could end up dropping us away. We did try to create a consolidation range though, so we will move this pole. We'll move this consolidation range, and then we can just redraw a consolidation range right here. Retake our measure, which is almost the same, and apply that forward. So usually history does repeat, and this does show history could repeat to push us to about 101k still. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to pull back, and momentum does have a red dot, so I would watch that momentum. With that red dot, that does say VWAP does want to break down, and if that VWAP continues to break down, then we will see that momentum roll over. Money flow will go into the red, and higher time frames would be at jeopardy of weakening. We do only have 2 touches to the top and 2 to the bottom, so I would watch. Usually after the third to the bottom, you will get another push up, and if we don't get that push up, then we would invalidate our pattern. Remember, you want to trade on confirmation, so we're waiting for a break out from this pattern, and then a retest of the flag, and then a continuation. Once you start that continuation, that's when it's safer to take that trade. So over on Moondag, we are on the hourly, so it is a very new coin. Like we said, it's been a just new thing that kind of popped up over the last month. So it does look pretty decent here. We are on Coinbase. It is tradable on Coinbase for those of you interested. I know people in my Discord have Coinbase, so that's why we chose it against KuCoin, because KuCoin was consistent for our other ones, but it's not available on KuCoin. We can't trade on KuCoin anyway, so who cares? So Stochastic does want to roll over on the daily. Daily is very hard to read with market cipher B, not enough data to go off, but RSI is curling back. So I would watch that stochastic and RSI, but again, there's not much data for it to calculate on, so kind of hard. I wouldn't really rely on that too much. Over on the 4 hour, it does look more positive. I believe, was that the daily? Yeah, the daily did have a little bit of positivity, though. We did have a gap here. We did jump forward. We filled that gap. Remember, gaps have an 80% chance to fill. So that was that fill there. And we are kind of retesting that zone. Now, that's important because this could also be a double bottom where you have a drop, a rise, a drop, a rise. So if we do have a double bottom here, oops, want our trend line, we would draw across for a trend line, then you would draw from your trend line down, again watching for confirmation where you break above your trend line, retest and bounce. That would be the ideal move forward. But if you're already in, you're looking for that move, and then that move could take us right back to our previous highs. So that would be positive for us, but that's going to depend on quite a bit. Meme coins are kind of erratic at times, so they are very community driven. Keep that in mind. They can have one day where they'll just blow off, and then the next day they'll just be flat or down. Stochastic doesn't want to pull back. RSI is starting to weaken. Momentum is dropping away. VWAP is starting to favor bearish, so I would watch. We need that VWAP to break more in the bullish trend to push us forward. Usually right now, it does look like it's trying to defy that here. So again, this could be a case where that market cipher really doesn't have enough data to give us a good calculation because this coin's so new. Over on the hourly, let's see. Hourly, we've never seen money flow flip green. So again, that's kind of weird. It has been green back here. So that gave us the current run up we're in. Back here, it was red. So that does make sense why we broke down. But I would just watch. The 1 hour does seem to have a little bit more price data. We do have a lot of gaps here as well. Remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill. So if you're a big gap trader, this may be one to look at. Remember, Anchor does have its gaps as well, but this may be one to look at as you can see how they played out. So here we made a run forward. We created a gap here, dropped down, and then price action jumped up, filled that gap, and created a new gap. We did create some other gaps as well, which we broke down. We did not fill every single one of them yet, but we did fill that secondary gap here, and then we are continuing forward. So there may be a chance we push up, fill this gap right around that 3829, and then we may see a little bit of a pullback, fill this lower gap. That does kind of seem to be the trend going on. That would create higher highs with higher lows that do not connect. That would create a bullish continuation, which a bullish continuation will push you up. A rising channel where the highs and lows do connect would break you down. So I would just exercise against any of that forming. So here our lows do connect pretty well. The highs here do connect. I would watch for that retest around that 32 that our MPP is probably predicting, because if we get a third touch to the top and reject, then we will come back to the bottom and we could see this pattern bring us down afterwards. So it may be a short swing. Again, meme coins are kind of erratic, and that would break us down toward around that 25,780. But remember, someone could make a tweet and this could blow off because meme coins do crazy things at sometimes. So over on graph for the daily, again, if you have any questions or any requests, drop them in chat. We'll cover them. Join our Discord in the link down below in the description. But over on graph on the daily, also let me know if the stream's doing fine. We are doing the new multi-streaming. Hope it's working. We got 2 on Rumble, 1 on YouTube. So it does look like we're getting some people and retaining. So hopefully you're hearing me. Stochastic does want to round away. Our size starting to weaken. That VWAP does want to pull back. So I would watch that VWAP. Momentum does want to push forward. And money flow is in the green. So overall, we do look pretty positive. We have a higher high with consistent lows. So we are trying to break away. Watch, that could be a bullish continuation forming. The MPP does say we may see a pullback, but that would be a higher low. 62% chance of pulling back to the 22 cents. And then hopefully making a bounce, continuing forward and breaking that 26.24. If we can manage that, I would look at a retest around this 31. Someone did ask, what do you see for graph over the next few months? So I would see a retest of that 31 if we can make that bullish continuation here. And then if we can hold in that range, then we would have that retest around our 49.50 range. That is going back to this April zone back here from 2024, almost a year ago. So a little shy of a year, 9 months. So Stochastic does want to round away. VWAP is turned around. Keep an eye on that VWAP. It needs to hold in a bullish trend to push momentum and money flow further. That money flow is good. Our momentum does want to break bullish. So as long as that VWAP can stay above that neutral, that zero area, then we can continue higher here. So watch those 1 hour time frames or lower time frames. Remember, you want these time frames to break in green. Once the 1, 2, and 4 hour break in green, our 2 hour is green, 4 hour is red. We can see some strong green candles yet. So keep that in mind. If these lower time frames stay bullish, we are on the verge of seeing a strong push up. But if we can't get that bullish strength and we start to reject away, we can invalidate that possibility still. We do have that flag possibility here. So that would be what would push us forward, possibly retesting around that 29-cent zone where that value area high on our fixed range volume profile is. Money flow is starting to weaken as that VWAP is favoring bearish. So I would watch. Yes, we will cover sandbox for you, Adam. So VWAP is starting to round away. Momentum is dropping away and money flow is starting to weaken. So I would exercise caution. We will hop over to sandbox real quick so we don't forget about it. So sandbox, and do we have it on KuCoin or anything? Doesn't look like it. So we will do... Let's see, I like to try and keep it consistent. There is a KuCoin, so there we go. So over on the daily, we do have Sandbox is a pretty old coin, at least compared to some of these other coins that have been requested. It did start like back, 2021, so this was around the whole Metaverse hype thing. I believe I do have some sand myself. So we do see a pretty decent bounce up here. This could be a double bottom forming here, just like we covered on Moondeg. So where you have that drop, a rise, a drop, and then a rise. We are right around where that neckline would be. This could try to retest those previous highs around that 79 cents. So we could have a short-term pump up. Our MPP does say to beware though, as it does calculate we could have a lower low. If we get that lower low, we could start a new bearish trend, but again, to see how lower time frames look. VWAP is pushing up. That momentum is gaining strength. Money flow is pushing up as well. So the daily does look pretty positive. And if we can break this area, then we could continue forward and try to test that resistance around that 68 for that break forward toward that 78. So over on our 1 hour here, our MPP does say be cautious as well, as it does have a 100% chance of breaking down for a lower low. So that's in confluence with the daily time frame. Since we have those two time frames agreeing, I would just exercise a bit of caution. But that VWAP is breaking into bullish territory with a higher low. So watch if we make a bounce here. If we make a bounce here, that VWAP will push forward. Momentum is bullish. So that money flow would go from red to green and we could push up, invalidating that MPP. Remember, the MPP is not going to be 100 all the time. That's why you trade with multiple indicators and multiple things. So watch that VWAP close. If that VWAP can break into a bullish trend here, getting higher highs and higher lows, staying above neutral here, we can get that pump forward. If the rest of the market pushes forward, it's likely this would push forward as well. So I would just watch. Again, if that VWAP breaks into a bearish trend where it rejects and pushes below that neutral level, that's where we could get a bit of a sell-off and see those lower targets that MPP is predicting. So I hope I answered your questions for you, Adam. Over on the daily for Anchor, it does look like our MPP says we have that calculated possibility of that 46. Remember, that was based on this low here. Current price action says we could end up breaking away from the current high we have and pushing down toward that 3615. So I would watch that in the short term, but overall, if the rest of the market pushes up and we see those flags on those other coins push us up, Anchor is probably going to push with them. Sometimes Anchor does its own thing, but usually most coins push together. That VWAP is pushing up. Momentum is gaining strength. Money flow is in the green. Stochastic and RSI are pushing forward. So we do look positive. This could be another double bomb setup. But again, exercise caution, as it could also try to become a bear flag setup, as we have consistent flat tops and pretty consistent bottoms coming from a downtrend that could try to push us lower if we're not careful. So watch these lower time frames. Yeah, that 1 hour has that bull flag possibility. We do have a bunch of gaps, a bunch of jumping around price. We do have a gap to fill right around that 37.67, right at that support level. There was an MPP probability of pulling back and filling that, but we did not. We did push forward from that, so that is positive. But I would watch because we're hanging up on the next MPP probability of making a lower high. And if we make a lower high here, we could break that bull flag possibility, fill that gap, and potentially break support if we don't see a bounce off that gap. VWAP is in the bullish territory, momentum is pushing forward, and money flow is in the green. So we are clinging to some bullish sentiment. We may have a little bit of a bullish trend trying to form right here, just off that big downtrend. Remember, when you see a quick move one way, you do typically retrace. We did see a very quick move up. We saw a little bit of retracement here, so maybe we're making a little bit of support here to push forward and give us a stronger area for that flag possibility. So if we drew that flag possibility, you may have something like this that would be mixing candle bodies and wicks. So depending on your style, you may or may not want to do that. Remember, trading is an art form. Not everyone's going to do everything similar or the same way, but you can take little bits and pieces here or there. Over on XRP for the daily, we did have that attempted break forward around that 250 like we said to watch for, but now we're pulling back into our pattern. So that could be a freak breakup where we try to manipulate forward, get everyone all hyped up, and now the market may pull back. We are still in our triangle, so exercise caution. This may solidify that trend line for our triangle. Yeah, Anchor does look pretty good. Again, is another one of them coins that have them gaps that gaps are a good way to trade if you're interested in swing trading. VWAP is pulling back, money flow is starting to weaken, momentum is rolling over, stochastic starting to round away, and RSI is starting to weaken, so just watch those lower time frames. Over on our 1 hour here, we did try to get a bullish trend. We got that bullish continuation, and then it kind of fizzled out, and now we're kind of getting a bearish continuation with lower highs and lower lows. If they do end up connecting, that could push us forward overall. Remember, a descending channel pushes you up, but bearish continuation where they don't connect will break us down, and the breakdown possibility is around that 231, and that could end up being what would push us down to the support level of our triangle, which could give us a further drop down and another DCA opportunity. So Stochastic does want to round away here. RSI is starting to pull back on the 1 hour. VWAP does want to round. Momentum is rounding, and money flow is in the green. But if that VWAP breaks down here, we will see momentum remain bearish, bringing money flow lower and weakening higher time frames. So that VWAP, just like the other coins we covered, needs a bullish trend here if we're going to save our price continuation and continue higher. If we do end up breaking away from this zone, watch, I'd say around that 259, that's that consolidation right around here and here. And then if we can break that, we would retest these wicks right around that $3 to 90 area. So last but not least, unless we have any further requests, remember, drop them in chat, either on Rumble or on YouTube. So over on Algo for the daily, we are seeing a little bit of a pull back here. So we may have that descending triangle forming here like we've been warning, just like we see on XRP. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to push down. That VWAP does want to lose strength. Momentum is rounding, and money flow is starting to lose strength as well. So overall, I would exercise caution. This could be a long upper shadow candle, which if we confirm this and get a red candle after, that would be what would confirm it, then that could push us down. And our MPP does say watch out for that 34.79 range, so that may be our area to kind of watch. If we do end up breaking that range, maybe we end up filling our buy order, but we may need to reconsider that buy order if we do not end up making a breakaway. I'm probably, for myself on this portfolio, I wouldn't really be too interested in buying here. That's just my opinion right now, because we are pretty close, in my opinion, to where the end of the bull market could be. Remember, usually around April, we may see some sort of pullback. People are starting to pull money away. People usually invest when they get the influx of taxes, and it doesn't last long, sell in May, then walk away. That's usually the adage. But over on the 1 hour, we do have that consolidation here too. That could try to push us forward if we get that continuation on other coins as well. VWAP does want to push down though, so watch that VWAP. If that VWAP retests neutral and rejects, we would create a bearish trend with lower highs and lower lows, which would cause money flow to continue to drop, weakening that our momentum to continue to drop, weakening money flow. And if that money flow weakens on the 1 hour, we will not continue that bullish trend to push that 4 hour up like we would want. And then we could see a rejection still. Remember, the 1, 2, and 4 hour need to be in confluence to get those really strong runs up. Thank you for watching. No problem, Adam. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being an active member. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Join us in that Discord in the link down below.